Today, my very first video tutorial, I'm going to talk about what I do with scrap papers. Bigger scrap pieces of papers I store and file away by color, but when I get small ones like this, in the past I've thrown them out, and now I realize that I should be using them as I go, and that's what I've been doing for the last month. As I get little teeny pieces that I would normally throw out, I use my 3 for You punch. This is a really lovely punch, and I prepare for myself flowers like this, either to give to my hostesses or to use on projects as I go. Today I'm going to show you 3 ways that you can use these little flowers. First of all, these tiny strips, which look like they're good for nothing, can be embellishments on a card, but they can also be used, sorry, hard to do for the camera. I'll start again using my right hand. And I always punch what you might think is backwards. I punch out like this and then move along. And this punch gets a lot of use. I don't know if you know if you hear that noise that I'm getting, it's time to put wax, to punch some wax paper, and it sort of makes it much smoother. Anyway, you end up then with a bunch of flowers, and you can simply really throw out this tiny scrap of paper that's not much good for anything. So when you punch your flowers, you can see that they have a bit of dimension. If you take a look at the shadow around this piece, you can see that it is raised. And using our stylo pen, you can simply put a dot of color. White is what the stylo pen comes in. Uniball stylo pen, like that, and it's perfectly fine then to glue on a project as an embellishment. Those are just straight out of the punch. The next ones I've made 3-dimensional, and I don't know if you can tell, the center is pushed in and the petals pop out. And the third way you can present them is very 3D. This doesn't go well through the mail, but if you're doing a project and you want some 3-dimensional flowers, those ones are even more 3-dimensional. These ones here will go through the mail and retain their popped outness. So I'm going to show you today how to quickly do that. Obviously the first way takes no time at all. Using this little mat pack, it's I think it's $15. It's a very handy tool. This makes stitches and decorates cards, but we're not going to use that piece. We're just using the protector mat and then this sponge, and we use the stylus. I'm not sure how well this red shows up against the black, but our styluses have a big ball on the end, a big tip and a small tip. I use the large tip, and I press once in the center, turn it over, press each of these petals like this, just in the center. I've seen people who go round and round, but it's not necessary. Actually finish with the center one, works better. And now you can put your little dot in it that really does show that it looks much more like a flower. You can do other things with them as well at this point, but it can now go on a card like that very nicely. So it takes a bit of time. Again, I'll show you. I did it a little backwards. Do the petals first, and then the center, and it just sort of makes them pop out. They look quite realistic, I think. So the next way, the simplest, but press very hard right in the center, and now your flower pops right out. Looks like, whoop, that one was a no-go. Try again, just quickly find the center point, push right down, and it's a very 3-dimensional flower that you're getting. I'm not sure that you can see. Try one more. They'll seem to be facing me, but there you go. Now, what else can you do with these? You can put a little stickle in the middle, or you can use this tool, which is a paper piercer, and punch a hole. Then take a brad, coordinating brad, pop it through. I know you don't need to see this part, I'll probably edit it. Poke it through, back. I aim for the rounds of the flower, and now they can simply be stuck on a card. And this card here, I thought needed more embellishment. Doesn't quite look finished, so I'm putting 3 of these little guys right on here. And that's one way you can finish your projects with these pretty flowers. Like that. That's it.